Welcome to this edition of The Lead. I'm Elizabeth Byro. This episode, we're taking a look at how some people are moving forward and learning from the past. This past week, President Joe Biden urged Congress to tighten gun control following two recent mass shootings. On March 16th, a series of mass shootings occurred at 3 spas in Atlanta, Georgia. 6 days later, on March 22nd, there was another mass shooting at a supermarket in Boulder, Colorado. The following day, President Biden called for a ban on assault weapons and tighter gun control measures, specifically for the closing of loopholes in the U.S. background check system. On March 11th, the House passed 2 bills that would broaden background checks for gun buyers. But with the Senate divided and most legislation requiring 60 of the 100 votes to move forward, the legislation's future is uncertain. If this legislation is passed by Congress, it is highly likely to be taken to the Supreme Court, whose 6-3 conservative majority leans toward looser gun restrictions. The past year has seen a surge in hate crimes against the Asian American community in the United States. The Lead's Annalisa Lindor takes a look at the history of anti-Asian American violence.
Anti-Asian sentiment dates back to the 1850s in America, during a time when Chinese immigrants flooded California to find work, building railroads and mining. In 1854, the California Supreme Court ruled people of Asian descent could not testify against a white person in People v. Hall. People felt the ruling incited anti-Asian attacks. The Chinese Exclusion Act of 1882 banned Chinese immigration to the U.S. In 1917, the act expanded to include Japanese immigrants. After the bombing of Pearl Harbor by Japan in World War II, Japanese Americans were sent to internment camps for the duration of the war due to the fear that they were spies for the enemy. Asian women in particular face a long history of stereotypes and misogyny, making them more vulnerable to violence. The Page Act of 1875 sought to prohibit immigration by presuming East Asian women would become prostitutes.
When Asians come here, it's mostly Asian unaccompanied males, not as families. So the women who come here are not involved in a family thing, so they're on their own. So there's that notion that women who are on their own, white or Asian, have to be involved in some kind of untoward enterprise. And the fact that they are different and Asian allows us to have these perceptions of them.
The country's hypersexualization of Chinese women made them subject to invasive interrogations by U.S. immigration officials, and Chinese women were seen as a threat to the institution of marriage. In popular culture, films such as Miss Saigon and Madame Butterfly perpetuate harmful stereotypes that Asian women are hypersexual, submissive, and exotic. Annalisa Lindor, The Lead.
The coronavirus pandemic caused the cancellation of standardized tests for high school students. Therefore, many seniors applied to schools without any test scores. The Lead's Emma Richards takes a look at the future of testing for college admissions.
The infamous SAT and ACT standardized tests are viewed by many as the gateway into elite universities. This year, however, college admissions were different. The coronavirus pandemic led to test cancellations. In order to address this issue, several universities, including all 8 Ivy League institutions, opted for test-optional college admissions for 2021 applicants. Stanford, Duke, and hundreds of other universities deemed academically prestigious in admissions followed suit. College student Piper Woodworth hopes this change will remain.
With COVID and how they were test optional colleges and universities, I think that was super helpful to a lot of students to relieve some of the stress, definitely during the pandemic, but also I think it should stay because many students are more than one test grade.
While some schools are only test optional for 2021 applicants, others have been working to phase out of standardized testing for years. Some universities saw the 2021 test optional policy as an experiment to stray away from tests, following discussion that the test may not be an accurate predictor of a student's future success. The SAT and ACT have also been under fire for creating an unequal playing field for lower-income students who often do not have access to technology, tutoring, and other preparation resources. High school English teacher Alex Shelton has seen this issue firsthand.
The problem with the SAT and the ACT, as with any standardized test, is that oftentimes these tests are a better predictor of a student's socioeconomic status rather than their actual true academic ability. Students who come from lower income backgrounds tend to be at a disadvantage with these tests. So even if they are great students, who would be very successful in a college setting, these tests don't tend to accurately represent that for them.
After assessing the success of admissions this year, colleges may choose not to return to the Scantron. Emma Richards, The Lead.
A local upcycling shop is looking to expand. Employees hope that the new location will turn even more trash into treasure. Since it opened in 2012, the Repurpose Project has been taking donations and stocking up on pre-owned materials to keep them out of the dump. Co-founder Sarah Goss's intention was to create a circular economy, which uses a community-based give-and-take system. This eliminates the need for manufacturing and waste. 9 years later, Goss didn't think they would ever need more space.
If we had more space, we'd be able to do a lot more. And really, I think that this building we're trying to buy is just a first step into a much bigger network of reuse stores that we need in order to accommodate all the useful stuff that's currently getting thrown away.
It's located on the corner of Waldo Road and Northeast 16th Avenue. This marks a milestone in the organization's growth. In order to purchase the second building, $200,000 must be raised by May 16th. The funds are for the down payment on a new location nearby. The deaths of 2 University of Florida students are the reason for change on Gainesville's roadways. The Lead's Gabriella Mercutio tells us about the new projects in development.
The City of Gainesville, UF administration, and the Florida Department of Transportation are working together on long-term projects that could decrease the number of pedestrian accidents near campus. This move following the deaths of Margaret Paxton and Sophia Lambert. The university is currently working on gateway projects, which include new pedestrian entry features, a new traffic signal at University Avenue and 16th Street, and a fully signalized intersection with crosswalks. The city is collaborating with FDOT to redesign 13th and University. Mayor Lauren Poe believes the entirety of the project will cost somewhere around $50 million. FDOT will also be conducting a study to determine whether the speed limit on University Avenue should be lower than 30 miles per hour.
The study will see how effective it is to lower the speed limit to 25 miles an hour and put down temporary speed tables where future crosswalks would be installed. This is expected to be implemented by the end of summer. Gabriella Mercurio, The Lead.
That's it for this edition of The Lead. Be sure to tune in on Wednesday for our next episode. I'm Elizabeth Byro. Have a great week.